Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I am your host, the Ranting Monkey. I said my name wrong in the intro. It's going to be one of those shows, I guess. I'm the Ranting Monkey, and I hope you're good wherever you happen to be. Hope you're having a wonderful morning. If you're asleep right now, I hope you're dreaming of naked things, because that's what we should all dream about: nakedness. Now, whatever nakedness you like. Tall person and yodeling monster. John, how you guys doing? Hope you're well. Andrew, god damn it. Oh shit, did I forget to send the link again? Dax, sorry, I did this last night too. I didn't send the link till halfway through the show when somebody went, how come you're not inviting them? Let's see. Because I am the most professional monkey on the intranet. The layman. Right-wing BDSM guy. That's a long name to scream, man. Kyler, Charles, how you guys doing? Prospero. Prospero, you want to come hang out tonight, man? Man, god damn it. You know what? Just expect that kind of show today. Just expect that kind of fucking show. I'm going to fuck everything up. Peter, Mr. Potato. That's what it was. I didn't have my first cigarette lit. I think that's the problem. I don't have the nicotine running through me like I should be, or something like that. Anyhow, yeah. Prosper, let me give this to you. Dax, how you doing?
I'm good.
Wait, why is my something's wrong with my headphones?
You're really not ready today.
No, it's not that. It's not that. This is a problem that started earlier tonight. I'm only hearing out of my right headphone. Ebony, Carlos, man, there's a lot of people yelling my name in the chat. Shrouded Angel, god damn. Demon Man, Prospero, I'm trying to get this done. Man. So how you been, Dax?
I'm getting really tired of 10-hour days, but today was a nice, short 9-hour day.
Oh, that's always nice. Make sure I'm sending you the right thing, Prospero. There you go. Ebony, thank you so much. Monkey, do you dream of anything other than naked things? Sometimes, and I feel robbed when that happens. Jaeger Pony. I feel like that's not anonymous. A good kind of dream. My dreams, all your dreams should have naked people in them, because that's what I dream. That's what I like. Laser Beam Barbecue. I like that name. Anyhow, god damn it, I want to fix my headphones. Talk again, Dax.
Again, Dax.
Okay, now talk.
Talking.
God damn it. That's gonna piss me off. All right, hang on. Let's just unplug this and try again. Okay, speak, Dax.
Speaking.
God fucking, this is bullshit. I wonder if it's this.
Monkey's Breakdown brought to you by you people.
Man, it's weird. Circus. Let me try it without that. Okay, talk.
I'm talking.
Shit, it's my headphone. That or it's my speaker. Either way, not good. Damn. Okay. I'll do my best to not freak out as I'm listening to just one ear's worth of audio. Guys, I really didn't bring you in here to listen to me bitch about my speakers. I just had to jiggle it a little earlier and it worked fine.
That's what she said.
Oh, I see what you did there. So, man, there's quite a bit of things that I want to talk. Time for new headphones. Actually, with it being both of these, because I have the little splitter that you can use. That's how Little Butt gets to use her headphones.
Mm-hmm.
But I unplugged the splitter and it's still happening. So I'm thinking it's the speaker, which they fell when I moved my desk and it's been okay. But I'm wondering, Miles, thank you. Hey, Monkey, just heard Candace Owens is going to testify to the House Judicial Committee on the topic of white nationalism, or maybe the lack thereof. Can't wait. I'm not a fan of Candace. Hi, Prospero. How you doing?
Good morning, hon. How are you?
Much better than I have been.
You can hear it in your voice.
The Red Hawk. Well, yeah, I'm awake and I'm not doing my best to hide the pain.
Yeah. And hey, Dax.
Hello.
Jack, how you doing, my friend?
Yeah, I'm doing. How you guys doing?
Meh.
Jack.
What's up, Prospero?
Not my IQ. I read the Krassensteins today.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Shaved a point or two off just by opening Twitter, but that kind of shaved 10 or 12.
Yeah, we're going to talk about them a little bit. Mostly, we're going to talk about Poppy. How you doing, sweetie? Twitter made changes to their rules today. It used to be that apparently you could follow up to 1,000 accounts in a day, and they're moving it down to 400.
Damn.
So that they can fight spammers. And my first thought, because everybody's like, who even follows 1,000 people in a day? And I'm like, the Krassensteins.
Yeah.
It's how they got their accounts so big. They engaged in a Twitter Ponzi scheme. They're like, if you follow us, we'll follow you and we'll both be huge. Except it doesn't quite work that way. Because you were following them and your friends were following them, but and they followed you back, but not everybody who followed them followed you. So you don't get now they get to have articles by Vox telling us how they became so successful. Like they did the same thing they always did. They scammed people.
Was the article titled "I'm a Believer"?
No, Vox actually made a video, dude. They have a video, and the Krassenstein still tweet it out every once in a while. Look how we were
Fox famous.
Yes. We were featured in this video. I'm like, you guys are fucking tards.
Yeah, really. Tim Pool turned against Fox how long ago? This is so last decade.
What is that? I think someone is cleaning up a crime scene next door. Damn, that bleach smells strong. Jesus. Well, at least it's next door, not at your house. Dylan, how you doing, man? So yeah, I don't mind the Twitter change because seriously, who the fuck follows 1,000 people in a day? But the way they, yeah, you got that. The way they put out their tweet, they were just dicks about it for no reason. For no reason at all. Follow, unfollow, follow, unfollow. Damn it, I fucked that up on Lords of the Night too. Who does that? Spammers. So we're changing the number of accounts you can follow each day from 1,000 to 400. Don't worry, you'll be just fine.
That is so snarky.
Shio, yeah, that last part is unnecessary. Don't worry, you'll be just fine. Like, fuck you. Now I just want to sit there every day and get to my 400 limit just to hopefully break their system.
Yeah, it's like Jim Heelis's comment on your post about it. I'm just going to start screwing with them.
Yeah. Richo, how you doing, man? Dylan says, oh, thank God Monkey finally noticed me. If I've missed you before, I'm so sorry, Dylan. Oh, damn, I feel bad. Brian! Now, for the record, the Brian I'm about to make fun of is not you.
Yeah,
Brian
right.
Krassenstein. I love the Krassensteins because people actually feel like, we're part of that community because Ed told us that he would follow us back. Between the two of those idiots, they follow 1.3 million people. Brian has 600,000 people he follows, and Ed follows 700,000. What do you think the chances are they read anything from those people?
What are the chances they read?
Well, yeah.
I mean, just in general.
Sometimes they read because they have their little Hill Reporter magazine.
Oh, whatever. Their handler read that to them. They don't know how to read.
I'm still trying to fix this because it's pissing me off.
I mean, they're buff, but they look all kinds of slow. You know, like short bus slow.
Oh, they're definitely short bus. They do. They actually look like there's an extra chromosome in there somewhere.
They have flavored windows in their apartments.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, delicious wall candy and fire bad. You know,
Yeah.
Man,
Mommy
Also,
comes on over and turns on the stove for them when they have to.
no fire bad, fire
Fire
bad.
I am losing my voice, and I apologize if you hear me clear my throat too often. It's been a rough day.
Well, is pollen beginning to maybe appear up there yet?
It might be. I haven't seen outside in a couple of days.
Oh, well, that's true because you've been kind of trapped in the man pain cave.
I'm
Yeah.
going to make you a periscope so you can see what the outside world looks like.
That
that'd
would
be
be
cool.
so cool.
I just keep it right here next to my mic stand. I could just peek out.
Yeah, but you know what would happen? Little butt would find the roof.
Mhm.
Gamma! I'd be like, help somebody get her off the roof.
Let's see. Speaking of the Krassensteins, I want to, because I don't want to just make this a small bashing of the Krassensteins. I want to talk about them a lot because they're fucking retards, and I feel like we haven't talked about what fucking retards they are enough.
And creepy, incestuous retards.
Indeed, man.
Yeah.
They make the ambiguously gay duo look rather heterosexual.
Oh, that video. Oh,
Oh man, that was so bad. What she's talking about, guys, is the launch trailer for their Krassencast.
Ew.
Yeah.
I had to take a shower after I watched it. It was like, oh my God, that's
Are they really-
narcissism. Yes.
Are they related to Joe Biden?
They might be. They might be. Speaking of Joe Biden, before we get to the those idiots, where's that? This came across my feed today. I fucking loved it. Dude, we're gonna share because we share pictures on this one. That's how I accidentally had vagina on here once. I just love this picture. If you're bashing the Krassensteins, you need poly. It's helpful to have poly, but I've been doing it for a long time. So here's what where's that one at? Eddie tweeted out today. I'm a registered independent. I don't believe in categorizing all my political beliefs into one group. I do know one thing, though. Not a single ideology I possess makes me think a man who separates children from their parents should lead anything, let alone an entire country. What he means to say is he doesn't think illegals should be separated from their children. Because old Eddie here has never bitched, not once, about our prison system. Which, by the way, separates children from families all the fucking time.
And something Trump's addressing.
No, this is something that has been addressed in other countries. For example, in Afghanistan, if you commit a crime, you and all of your children go to jail. Because somebody has to take care of those kids, so you do it in jail. And they can leave when they're 18, or you get released, whichever comes first. That's obviously the system they want. I say we go for it and see how much they complain when it happens.
You know, that's not a bad idea. Just throw the kids in jail with their parents.
That's
Yeah.
how debtor's prison worked in other prisons back in the day.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of systems in place out there that they seem to endorse because they're saying don't separate these kids. So obviously, if we're not going to separate them, they have to go with their parents or execute them, whichever. But I'm going for we don't kill children. We just lock them up with a bunch of potential rapists and murderers and whatever other kind of assorted criminals we have.
They'll be traded for currency and cigarettes.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
How many cigarettes can I get for the fat one? Andrew says, how do we know those children are really the children of those illegals? We don't. That's part of the problem because we do know there's an issue with smuggling people. And Evil One says it was okay when Obama separated children from families, but not when Trump, or now that Trump's doing it's awful. Yeah, it's amazing how that happened. One of Obama's appointees, I forget what he was bitching today on Twitter. How dare Trump do this and put kids in cages? And like, you do realize that the story that started all of this, that got you guys all upset and actually pretending you care about these fucking kids, was a story with a picture from the Obama administration.
Yeah, like 2013 or something. I mean, it was not really
No.
all that new.
I, for one, encourage our feral children breeding program because these children in cages are going to be raised by dogs because that's what else you put in cages, right?
That's true.
So they will be highly trained to attack on command, and they will help monitor the border that they crossed as they get older. And they won't know because they'll be traveling with their pack. And they'll have forgotten these parents. So they will actually attack the other incoming illegals. And that could save us. And we can also deploy them as needed on the battlefield.
Will they be eating the illegals or?
I don't know. It's a possibility. I mean, they will be feral, so we will have to make them quite vicious and train them to only obey certain commands, which will be spoken in a specific obscure language, possibly Inuit. And
there you go.
Deploy them on the battlefields and create the legend that these are actually feral wild men from the wilds of the Pacific Northwest, so that people think that these are like werewolves of some sort, maybe the Michigan Dog Man.
Start some nice lore around that and spread it down south of the border.
Exactly. Create terror to prevent it. So
that's right. Brian, no, it was Beth who says the Krassenstein seem like stupid idiots. I don't follow them and don't see the need to. I follow them purely for the humor of it because, oh my God.
Yeah, they're laugh boner.
They're fucking retarded.
They.
Where was that at? Somebody asked. Galorx asked, "How do you be a Krassenstein?" Well, there's several ways. You can be creepy with your brother. I mean, that's one way. The way to do it on the Twitter machine, though, is to randomly follow a whole bunch of people just so they'll follow you, and you can get a bunch of attention for how influential you are from people who don't really even fucking read you.
Hand to God, if I looked at my husband the way they look at each other, he'd ask if I had a fever.
I do look at my wife the way they look at each other.
Well, I mean, you do when you don't, if you know what I mean. You know, it would be like, okay, creepy stare can stop now.
Lady Monkey knows what I'm thinking in that. When I have that look. She's like, oh God, he's going to put it in me.
Jesus.
Oh God, and I did. I took it there. There you go, Jen.
That's what they're thinking too. That when Ed looks at Brian that way, he's thinking, "Ooh, he's going to put it in me." Now that's a guess. That's a guess. I don't know that for sure.
Bullshit. Every time they look at each other, Careless Whisper starts playing.
Yes, it's a don't bring that up.
Dance again the way I danced with you.
Adam started playing that on Minions tonight.
It's a great song.
Sanguine was doing food porn, and he started playing Careless Whispers behind it.
Oh, it's a great song. Great song.
It is.
I love playing that song. It's a lot of fun. It's just smooth the whole time. It's so good.
However, if you actually listen to the words, it is not a love song. It's a tragedy.
Oh, it's painful.
Here's the other one I wanted to read from Ed Krassenstein. For everyone who criticizes me for comparing Trump to Hitler, I'd rather be wrong in my critique than be wrong for not speaking up. Trump is not Hitler, but he's certainly showing similarities in his ideas and actions. Let's not wait until it's too late to speak up.
Oh, too late. He's such a fanning couch boy.
There's so much wrong with this. Starting with, I'd rather be wrong in my critique than wrong for not speaking up. All right. What if we applied this to your neighbor and you just started calling him a child molester? I don't really know that he's a child molester, but I'd rather be wrong in my critique than not speak up.
Yeah, Brian, when did you stop shagging Ed? Ed, when did you stop shagging Brian?
Joke's on you, they haven't stopped.
Yeah.
They're connected at the hip from what I hear.
Literally.
Trump is not Hitler, but he certainly is showing similarities in his ideas and actions. Which is he invading Poland?
No, see, he's going to annex the Rhineland next week.
Oh, gotcha.
Rhineland's a fine land.
And then he's going to turn on France and just move in.
It's going to be the Vichy, though, in that scenario.
These assholes are so hyperbolic, man. And remember, they're part of the hashtag resistance.
Why is the resistance made up of such idiots?
Because you know what the resistance is, right? It's idiots.
Well, I'm starting to think it's the resistance to reading and soap.
That could that could be it. Chelsea Handler's part of the resistance. And remember, we just read the other day that after Trump won in 2016, she had to have therapy. And what was the other one? Oh, she started drug use.
Oh, she needed therapy before that.
She did, but that's what she's claiming. Sorry, I'm just reading through these idiots again. I didn't see much of Brian today, and I should go check on Brian. Come here, Brian. You dirty bitch.
He may have locked himself in a bathroom or something by accident.
Well, here, let's take it. This is Brian's pinned tweet right now. Pinned tweet. When Trump's grandfather came to America, they didn't tell him we're full. When Trump's first wife came to America, they didn't tell her we're full. When Trump's third wife came to America, they didn't tell her we're full. Trump has no right to proclaim we're full.
Did they mention his second wife?
No.
Well,
Brian's not that smart.
Damn.
there also weren't 300 plus million people in the country when his grandfather showed up.
Well, that's the thing. All of these things happened in the past. Like, you can have a cup that's not full right now, and 10 minutes from now, that cup could be full.
No, you see, Monkey, these people don't believe in the concept of linear time. So, because it's patriarchy or some nonsense. So, what happened in the past also happened in the now.
Yes, and they've decolonized math. Don't forget that.
Exactly. They use the Common Core because slavery was just like a week ago by their logic. That's why they talk about it all the time. Jim Crow laws, that was like 2 hours ago.
Right. I just love how, I mean, these things, they just because those happened, and I'm not saying the country's full. I don't know. I think as far as our resources for illegals go, we're pretty full. Probably overflowing.
I think we're full in the sense that we've had enough.
Yeah, there's that too.
What's the daily count on the border now?
Last I heard, a couple thousand.
Yeah.
Well, there's a big caravan coming up now too. It's supposed to be like 20,000 people, isn't it?
Another caravan.
Yeah.
I've heard differing things about that caravan. Because there's one that they're what they call it, the biggest one ever. But then people who say they're down in Guatemala or Honduras, wherever it was forming, were like, there's only like 4 people here. So we'll have to wait until it actually starts moving to see how big it's going to be. No. Slavery was abolished today at 2 a.m. Yeah, I mean, it was just yesterday, so everybody write a check. Here's the other one I loved. I did see this one from Brian today. Thanks to the few journalists and reporters who didn't immediately jump on the false bar narrative bandwagon 2 weeks ago in order to try and save face, when it actually made those who did look like idiots. Thank you to all who stuck to your guns, knowing full well his summary was crap. Okay, here's what his summary said. And I'm going to help you out with it, Brian, because you seem to have misread it. It said there was no collusion that they could find between Trump's administration and the Russians to meddle in the election. And it said that Mueller didn't have enough, or didn't want to decide whether or not there was any obstruction of justice, leaving that up to Barr to decide. And he decided there wasn't. That's it.
Oops.
Yeah. Now, see, Brian, here's the problem. Brian made a huge ass of himself, even more so than Ed about the whole Mueller thing. Because he was like, I swear to God, I know there's going to be indictments. I mean, I heard it. I read it. I got a fortune cookie and it told me indictments coming. All of the indictment, he loved to talk about how many indictments there were. There's all these indictments, but nothing to see here. Well, yeah, there was nothing to see here because those indictments had nothing to do with Russian collusion. You stupid shit. Maybe, and I'm just throwing this out there, if you took your dick out of your brother once in a while and read something, you would know that.
Because he reads with a one eye.
I'm not suggesting he has sex with his brother, y'all. I'm not, because that would be wrong. I'm just suggesting he has sex with his brother. University of Kansas to offer angry white male study course.
I just threw a link in the side chat about it.
Yeah, that's where I grabbed it from.
Oh.
Kansas. I mean,
Kansas.
really?
University of Kansas students will soon be able to study the rise of the angry white male. The college
Picture of the empty classroom in the article.
Oh yeah.
That's how many people give a shit.
Oh no, this class will fill up. And the funny part is it'll be mostly white people. The college course called Angry White Male Studies will dive into the deeper sources. Oh, Polly, how you doing, man?
Every time.
He'll be with us in a second.
He's just a super angry white guy, so he can't talk right now.
He is. You got to calm down first. We'll dive into, quote, the deeper sources of this emotional state while evaluating recent manifestations of male anger in the United States and Britain since the 1950s. The course catalog description states, oh, excuse me, I need to clear my throat. So sorry about that, guys. The course catalog description states, employing interdisciplinary perspectives, this course examines how both dominant and subordinate masculinities are represented and experienced in culture, undergoing periods of rapid change connected to modernity. Thank you. As well as the right-based movement of women, people of color, homosexuals, and trans individuals.
I like how they just said chads and betas without saying those words.
They should have just said it. Polly, you with us now? Uh-oh. Polly might be having technical difficulties over there now. Fix your shit, Polly.
There we go. Okay. It wasn't the mic this time. It was the fucking headphones. For some reason, it was set on the Yeti mic. Yeah. Or the Yeti headphones. I don't know why it does that. But I click it over in time to hear Monkey say, fix your shit, Polly. It's like, okay.
And there it was. See, all you had to hear was me say that. And it fixed it.
Ooh, look at all the people in here. Gotta find my stream etiquette extra.
Although the class, right now, Polly, we're reading about this class for angry white males. Angry white male studies at Kansas, the University of Kansas. Thank you, Terry Diamandis. No, Terry Diamandis. I told you guys it's that kind of stream. I'm gonna fuck up a lot. Who says, "No helping Monkey read. I don't spoil your fun." True. And over on the Streamlabs, that looks like a long message. Hang on, let me get over there so I can read it. Just got discharged from the ER and wanted to get some sleep, but wanted to give some love. Went in for an ovarian cyst rupturing. Oh, I've heard those are horrible. Ooh. Found out I have a 5 centimeter on both sides and one side ruptured twice. Oh,
ow.
The last stream gives me really help the pain. Thank you. And that was from Mischievously Inanimate. And I'm so sorry to hear you going through that. I hope it passes quickly.
That sucks. I feel bad for you, hon.
Yeah, I don't even know what's involved in it, but it's God, that all sounded serious as hell. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Certainly painful.
Ovarian cysts happen more than you might think. And yeah, I've seen people going through them, and it doesn't look
ovarian cysts are very clearly transphobic.
Yeah, they're a little on the kidney stone side, Polly.
That's what an ovarian. I mean, I've heard of them, but I don't know anything
Well,
about them. So.
imagine a 5 centimeter cyst.
Like I thought a cyst was like a non-cancerous growth kind of thing.
It can be, but if something like that
bursts,
like
you
5
also-
centimeters. That's, I mean, are ovaries even that big?
Not really.
Woof.
I mean, they vary in size, but that's like a big ass balloon going off in your abdomen.
What we're saying is stop overachieving.
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, Jesus, all
smaller,
best wishes to you with that. I mean, wow.
Yeah, I hope you feel better. I really do.
Let's hear it for modern medicine, though, huh? I mean,
Yay.
Jesus.
If we can make you laugh, I'm glad we can do so. I had a ruptured cyst. It was horrifying. I couldn't sleep. Super sensitive. I knew somebody used to get cysts on their testicles, man.
Oh my god!
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
And
Thanks for that nightmare.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that,
you know, that can happen to dudes. And
I don't even got them, and that makes me go, oh god, ow.
Yeah, he had to he could not leave his house or anything. Take no pants because anything that touched,
Oh yeah.
That's what I was about to ask. Are cysts such that like, are they painful to like contact, or are they just sort of there
It
and taking up
depends.
space? Yeah.
Depends on what you got. And this dude ended up having to go in and have surgery to get him removed.
Well, if I remember correctly from biology class, aren't testicles just because you start out with kind of all the same gear? When the ovaries descend down to become testicles in the scrotum.
Yeah.
So it's basically the same equipment, just same design, different intended purpose.
Different function, yeah.
Yeah, it was just an ovary cyst on his testicles.
Yeah, but I've heard of people that like they're driving and pressing the accelerator, they notice pain in their abdomen, and that's how they know they have an ovarian cyst.
Damn.
Something as easy as pressing an accelerator.
Oh, so what you're saying is women shouldn't drive because it causes ovarian
Oh Christ,
cysts.
Jack.
No,
Jesus.
obviously
Right.
driving causes cysts. We have to stop that to help the women.
And they should be covered in head to toe with a blanket.
Letterboxes, yeah.
Oh, dude.
Thanks for having me on, Monkey.
Don't worry. I was actually going to bash on women later.
Good.
We thought my sister was just fat. Turned out to be a football-sized ovarian cyst. Holy
Oh
damn.
my God.
Oh yeah, I've seen some
Did
of
you
them
all
removed from
say
people.
sorry?
Ugh.
Like, sorry for calling you fat.
Did she
and-
name it?
Jesus. Okay, we were talking about let's get back to this real quick.
Angry white men class. Yes.
Angry white male studies. Some student. Oh, we were. Although the class can be taken for credit and is being offered in the fall, one Kansas lawmaker is not amused. Representative Ron Estes, a Republican who wrote on Twitter that the course, quote, divides the student population, and wondered why the University of Kansas did not offer a class to, quote, unite and empower women. I'm sure they do. Thank you. Nope. Have you guys seen the Brian Stelter watching the Brian Stelter Spaceballs meme? I laughed. I haven't seen it. It came across my feed, but I didn't watch it yet.
No, but I want to see anything to bust Brian Stelter's balls. I'm down for it. But I haven't seen it though.
Let's see. Creating a dialogue, which is somewhat something that we need to have. Dialogue is important. Junior Raynon Wallace Demby, pick a last name, told WFLA. The course is being taught by Christopher Forth, reports The Hill. Forth, a professor of history and the dean of professor of humanities, has published several books, including Masculinity in the Modern West, Gender, Civilization, and the Body.
So in other words, Cuck 301.
Oh, yes. A prerequisite for the course is called Introduction to Women, Gender, and Sexuality Studies.
God, I'm glad I'm old. I really
would love
am.
to take this course.
Oh, I would too, except, if I'd had to take it as an undergraduate, that would have been the end of it. I'd be an electrician. Now
I would
I would
purposely get angry every class.
I'd get kicked out of this class.
It would be fun. Uncle Sam, thank you. I remember a story on Lords of the Night about a man with an 11-pound turd in him. Yeah, that does seem Seems easier. Real quick, guys, if you want to shill yourself, do it over into the chat. And you guys in the chat, if you'd like to support the show, remember, I am brought to you by you. This is me holding out my hat after I've entertained you on the street. I'm just one act in the fair that is YouTube. So if you can throw shekels at me or any of the gentlemen and lady that are on the show, please help out and like, share, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. Claxton. Because YouTube sucks at sharing our stuff. What else do we have here for the news? You missed bashing on the Krassenstein, Polly. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. My Wi-Fi was out for like an hour, and when it just came back on. Think they're going to reimburse me for that?
Well, they might give you that 15 cents.
The 15 cents if it was. Yeah. Well. My whole point is that hey, it probably wasn't just me. It was everybody in my given area or whatever the fuck that was based off of whatever internet node. And if they had to refund everybody, that would probably stop them from doing things like that.
Yeah, Comcast completely reset last night. Minions ended, and I was still in the Hangout talking to people, and all of a sudden, nothing.
Thank you, Connor Johnson. There's a British TV movie from 1984 called Threads. It's incredibly horrifying in how it realistically depicts nuclear devastation. It must be seen.
That's on YouTube.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't want to watch something that's going to make me scared.
Oh, it's fairly old. Oh, I got a Streamlabs here. Thank you, Terry Diamandis. Jack has my illegal vote for 2020. Thank you, Terry.
What about me?
Weren't we just talking about the atomic apocalypse? How many apocalypses do we need in one stream? Jack for president?
Oh, man. Ilhan Omar calls White House advisor Stephen Miller a white nationalist.
Oh, for Christ. Wow, what a surprise.
Freshman Representative Ilhan Omar called White House advisor Stephen Miller a white nationalist in a tweet on Monday. Omar, a Democrat from Minnesota and one of the first Muslim women elected to Congress,
blah, blah, blah. Sorry, Monkey, but Jesus Christ, every fucking time this woman's name is mentioned. First Somali Muslim woman, blah, blah. Fuck. I'm sorry, go ahead.
They don't even know Ayan Hirsi Ali, but they think this woman's a hero.
Made the statements as Miller reportedly pushed President Trump to move immigration enforcement in a tougher direction. Quote, this is what she wrote, quote, Stephen Miller is a white nationalist. The fact that he still has any influence on policy and political appointments is an outrage. Well, you're an anti-Semite.
Yeah, that the entire Democratic Party circled the wagons to cover up your fucking eugenics beliefs as it comes to the Semites, you fuck.
Yeah, and on top of it, the last time I saw Stephen Miller getting dragged, it was because he was an anti-Semite.
They should get along. They could have dinner.
Yeah, I mean, Miller can't win. I mean, if he's like some alt-right white nationalist, he's supposed to be in agreement with her on the JQ.
Oh, Jesus. Quote, I see the head of the Farrakhan fan club at Ilhan Omar took a short break from spewing her usual anti-Semitic bigotry today to accuse a Jewish man of being a white nationalist because she apparently has no shame. Donald Trump Jr.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Sure.
He has turned into Alpha Prime.
He is almost as good as his dad when it comes to Twitter.
As a troll, yeah. I mean, he can actually piss him off better because they figure he's going to be around longer.
You know, I want to talk about something real quick because I was watching Ben Shapiro on Dave Rubin, and I didn't get to watch it live, but you know they have the chat live playing in the side, and they talked about free speech and all that, and then Ben, I think he might have been talking about Ilhan Omar, and he mentioned that she's an anti-Semite, and somebody in the chat wrote, Ben says he's for free speech but calls somebody an anti-Semite. Yeah.
And
I fail to see the mutual inclusivity here.
Exactly. Like that criticizing somebody's speech is not the same as shutting it down. Unless you're one of those people who believes that if somebody doesn't agree with you, it should be shut down.
But there goes the thing. I hear that from time to time, more often than I probably should. Well, what happened to that person's free speech? Yeah, the government didn't kick their door down and arrest them for saying it. What's your problem? They said that, and then I used my free speech to tell them they were full of shit. What? Free speech doesn't mean speech that goes undisagreed with. Where do you even get that from?
Polly, see, disagreement is violence, Polly. Basically, when you disagree with someone, that's like a domestic assault because you're from the area, which makes you domestic. It's like a terrorism.
It's funny you say that, because I can actually generate a satirical argument to go along with that. Well, you see, when a marginalized person speaks and a cishet white male who has traditionally oppressed them says something in disagreement, it creates it shuts down their voice, which is limiting their free speech.
That's actually the argument they make.
It was supposed to be satire.
No, there's no satire.
Thank Chrisiosity. You almost sounded like you were going to cry.
No, that was, frustration can lead to tears. It just hasn't yet.
Reno says, tell that to ContraPoints. Yeah, that became a huge thing that if you're speaking in disagreement with somebody, that's tough. Yeah, see, Polly sounds like ContraPoints. Yeah. If you disagree with them, that's you're shutting them down, and that's not allowing them to talk. Like, no, they can still talk.
Speech is violence.
Riffing off the top of my head for humor, and you guys are like, "Yeah, I heard ContraPoints say that." Oh, here's what they go on to argue, motherfucker.
No, it's true. Yeah, I've never heard ContraPoints say that. I've heard it from other people. Way back during the whole when they came up with the ultra clever freeze peach.
Oh,
Jesus,
that is one of the prime top fives of the left can't meme. You know what I mean? Because it was obviously, I hate how they go whatever, and that was in my opinion in response to that, because free speech. Oh, shut up. Jesus Christ. You're a fucking tranny who talks about social progress. Be happy for your free speech. You
fucking morons, the word you were looking for there, or words. Pelosi takes jab at AOC over attention to Twitter followers. Dun dun dun. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi took an indirect swipe. It was not indirect. Swipe at Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez Monday, saying passing legislation should take priority over amassing Twitter followers. That's not what she said. Here's the actual quote. While there are people who have a large number of Twitter followers, what's most important is that we have a large number of votes on the floor of the House. So yes, that is a direct stab at AOC. And she's absolutely right. It doesn't matter how many Twitter followers you have or how much your Twitter followers think you're just the coolest thing ever. If you don't get votes in the House and get stuff passed, it doesn't matter.
Votes? Really? Votes?
She was asked how she was balancing her social media savvy socialist-leaning members like AOC with those from the purple states who won the House majority for the Democrats. Pelosi said Democrats should fight for the boldest common denominator. But with her 3.9 million Twitter followers, and that's just on her campaign account, Ocasio-Cortez has been sucking up an extraordinary amount of press coverage. Yeah, I know it's extraordinary. And she sometimes bucked Pelosi while deferring to the speaker on big ticket items like impeachment. Ocasio-Cortez skipped an emergency call last month that the House Speaker set up so the House Democratic Caucus could prepare for the release of the Attorney General William Barr's assessment of the Mueller report. You mean she skipped that? She probably had to have her nails done. That bitch is so stupid. But yeah, Pelosi took a swipe at her and look, sweetie, if you want to remain important in Washington, you might want to pay attention to the Speaker of the House. Just throwing that out there. Because if you think you're Justice Democrats are in any way as dirty as the Democratic Party itself, you have no idea. If they want to take you out, they will find you suicided with 4 or 5 shots in the back of your head.
With a note pinned to your chest that says, "Yeah, I'm fucking better than you."
Yeah. I didn't get 4 million followers. It was too much to take. Is there ever a day where AOC doesn't say something retarded? No. I mean, she's a retard, so.
We were saying that just a little while ago. Everyone has gaffes, but she does it so she quote unquote gaffes so consistently. A gaffe is a fuck up. This is her standard mode of operation, which means she really is that dumb.
Yeah, that's her default.
Yeah.
The gaffe is when she makes sense.
Well, the other day, a whole bunch of news articles came out. Donald Trump claims his dad came over here from Germany. It was really his granddad. That's a gaffe. That's where he screwed up and said dad instead of granddad. This bitch screws up daily. Fucking daily. Yeah. About big things. Like her job.
Thank God she didn't go into medicine.
Oh, she couldn't.
No.
There's actually tests for that, and there's not to become a congresswoman. No, monkey, not her nails done, just going to her bartending job. You remember, yes, she's a bartender, y'all. She's a bartender. I'm proud to be a bartender. I can't do a sassy black girl accent. Sorry.
Well, sassy black girl distilled through Westbury, PR, Bronx.
She
I had hot sauce. Yeah, it was like oof, horrible. Worse than it actually was worse than Hillary's. I'm so tired.
Did you hear Don Lemon's attempt to play interference for her on that?
No.
It was great. Like this guy, he's so fucking obvious in the way that he plays, right? Oh, sorry,
Johnny Hellcat, thank you. Pin note that says, "Why am I not 50 points ahead?" Yes, indeed.
Then there's criticism out there on social media about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez talking with an obvious accent. This is just her knowing her audience.
No, it's being condescending as fuck.
Yeah, putting was and what weren'ts and so forth. Like when you was back like that in the day, like you dropped your ability to use grammar properly, which you have, to appeal to the stupid Negroes in the audience. You're a racist, lady.
That's what I got out of it.
Well, her defense of it was, this is how I talk. When you grow up in a place like I did, you have to know that there's certain places you talk like this and certain places you talk like that. Like when I speak Spanish, it's totally different than I speak this white girl crap.
It's so infantilizing. I can't speak to you with proper grammar because you won't know what I'm saying. And since I know my audience, I'll start screwing my grammar up so you can understand.
Yes.
That's so insulting.
It is insulting.
Polly, it's called ebonics, and it's what we talk to the letters with.
It's called moron. And we read an article several months ago on Lords of the Night where it showed, studies show that when Democrats talk to their audiences, depending on what audience, they dumb it down.
Yep.
They turn it like what she did there, where she starts speaking in broken English instead of speaking how she normally would.
Right.
Patronizing cunt. I mean, it was just what a rude thing to do to begin with.
Yeah. But they're all like, she wasn't doing anything bad, y'all. Come on, look how many followers she has. She's cool.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
she gets
mean.
ratioed on almost everything she tweets. So
but when you have, it's one thing to have a bunch of social media people backing her up, but I think it's a completely different thing when you have. Again, I'm going to rant about the news actors, the news entertainers again. I know it's a drum I beat, but fuck it. Like, dude, what's the news? What's the news element in that? AOC went in front of an audience and talked like this. Stop. But that's not what he did. He said, this is receiving a bunch of backlash online where Republicans are pouncing because, of course, that's always the story, right? The story isn't what she did. It's the reaction of the other side. And they're wrong, and here's why. You're a news entertainer. The entire story was made up in one sentence. Cortez did X.
Yeah, the Republicans magically turned into cats in the recent news cycle because they keep pouncing on everything. They pounce on this tweet. They pounce on this statement. They pounce on this speech. And the pounce evidence is usually 3 tweets from randos. Nobody serious, nobody with a huge following, except occasionally James Woods might like weigh in with a look at this. And that's a pounce. Nobody in Congress or the Senate needs say anything for the Republicans to be classed as pouncing, because it's all about Twitter.
What do you think, Dax?
I think people are stupid and they're getting dumber every day.
Nope. Asked if you were even here, so I thought.
I'm here. I'm just listening.
I know.
I'm browsing Twitter, listening to people be stupid. And
well, speaking of Twitter and stupid, I have to bring this one up. So Matt Walsh, I don't know if you follow him or not. What you think of him? I agree with him on some things. I think he's a bit hyperbolic on others. However, he's responding to somebody put up a picture of a dog and a pig, and they put, why eat one, or why love one but eat the other? And Matt responded, because one tastes good and the other doesn't. Okay, this is where things go from what to huh? This idiot responds, so your taste preferences are worth the suffering these animals have to endure. Wish you were pro-life about the life that actually mattered.
I'm not asking. I'm not.
Pro-life about the life that actually mattered. Don't worry about those fetuses that are human. Save the pig, because that's the life that really matters.
God damn it.
Are you out of your fucking mind? This is why people don't like vegans. It's true.
Babies don't matter.
Hashtag, this is why people don't like vegans.
I don't think you're wrong. I think it sums it up pretty well, actually.
Who was it I saw today on Twitter said that vegans were the feminists of the food world?
oh, I saw that. I don't remember who it was.
Damn it. I wish I could remember, because I was like, yes.
Look, I get it. You feel bad when you eat a pig. All right, so you don't eat a pig. But don't you fucking dare compare the life of a pig to the life of a human, you sick motherfucker.
I'm not eating baby bacon. It's not happening. Pig bacon, perfectly fine. And I don't feel all that bad.
If you think the life of humans and animals are comparable, you're a shitbag who probably shouldn't be in charge of either.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a hard thing. We love our pets, right? We've all had pets that we adore.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's your kitty cat who lays on you in the recliner while you watch TV every single day, or Pumpkin in a fire, you're like, good luck, cat. You're grabbing the baby.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm sorry, we're speciest.
Now, as somebody who generally likes animals more than people, I'd have to say, though, if it came down to it, and I really had to make the choice, I would probably save the human, unless I had a real issue with them personally. Then maybe they're on their own. Then I might go all Batman on Ra's al Ghul. But it's one of these things where they're trying to be hyperbolic, but they believe this crap.
Yes, that is my problem.
And it is why we hate vegans, and they're smelly, they eat weird stuff, and there's nothing likable about them. Why does anybody listen to them?
I'm not sure. Well, I do know why. Because they play on people's heartstrings, and nobody wants to say, yeah, go ahead and kill that pig. But when you get to the point where you're actually saying you'd rather eat a retard than a cow, you've probably gone too far.
Probably.
Yes. Well, it's the kind of things that lead to people doing experiments on other humans.
Yeah.
Because they have reduced them to below animal status. And it's when I've had plenty pets and I have loved them. And yes, occasionally you're like, who's my baby? That kind of, but it's not like real. I mean, if I see a kitty sitting next to an infant, I'm probably going to try to grab both of them if I can. But
if you have a choice, you go.
I'm taking
the
child first.
Dave's World says, knock, knock, nice and tender and smothered in barbecue sauce. You're talking about baby back ribs? Yeah. We need opposite of vegans that only eat meat to save the poor plants. And not to save the poor plants, but there are people who are claiming they're on all meat diets, which, by the way, is also not good for you.
Yeah, being a meatitarian is wonderful, but there's a line. This whole thing with them trying to play these emotional games, it's really kind of sickening because it really comes off like religious zealotry.
Mhm.
That's exactly how it comes off.
It's cultish.
And nobody wants your pamphlets, especially because they're probably printed on plants and you're going to eat them later.
Yeah.
It's weird.
If they're that self-loathing, I mean, legitimately, if they hate the human species to that degree, there is something they can do about that. They could voluntarily cease breathing and leave the rest of us alone. I am not suggesting anyone go out. Give me the disavowal, monkey. The opinions expressed on
the Monkey in the Morning Show are not necessarily those of the Ranting Monkey. Go ahead.
But you know what I mean? If you hate humankind that much, you first. I mean, did you see the weird yoga lady and her daughter talking about their too many humans? And John Ward's video on that was just outstanding. But this woman is sitting next to her daughter, talking about there are too many humans on the planet and people shouldn't have children. She's sitting next to her daughter and they're doing this. The daughter's doing this unusual over the head arm pulse. She has the expression of somebody that has been drugged into a stupor. That's right. You have got to see this, monkey.
I thought she had a condition.
When
I was watching the video, I couldn't make any sense of what are they doing?
But there's
some sort of like spiritual cleansing yoga movements or whatever.
Billion people, and it's selfish. You women who think that staying home and being mothers, there's a difference between parasitism and life.
What?
That's it. What?
Yeah. Just for the record, before you guys, if you decide to follow Prospero's advice and check out, before you do so, send your money to this Streamlabs link here, and I'll be glad to make use of it after you're gone.
Wait, if we're doing you're giving it away fund, I'd like to throw my hat in the ring too.
Hell yeah!
Help us out if you're checking out. Unless you're checking out the Hillary way, in which case I just advise don't do it.
Yeah, don't piss off the Clinton Foundation.
No, that's a bad way to go.
Remember when Vegan Gains said, "Well, I've sterilized myself. I've done my part." You asshole.
For humanity, you did.
Yeah, you're such an asshole. This fucking guy.
I want to join. If anybody has connections to an Eskimo tribe, let me know. I want to sign up and join their tribe for about a week, and personally go out with them and bash a baby seal to death so the first time a vegan comes into my Twitter feed and starts bugging me, I'll just post that link over and over again.
My husband wanted to print up a bumper sticker back in the 80s that said killing the baby seals in the name of Jesus. I mean, because I remember when this nonsense started, and it's just gotten sadder.
Yeah.
To
They're
the point that
sad.
people are suicidal almost. They're just,
All I can think of is if somebody doesn't buy a car for me in the next 5 minutes, I'm gonna club this baby seal.
yeah, that's it.
UHF, such a great movie.
Mhm.
Oh man,
I love Weird Al.
Did you hear the good news about the sale of the Gizmodo Media Group?
No, who bought it?
Yeah.
I can just read this article and then sort of talk around it. It's from Variety. It's you'll love this. Okay, this is actually great news. Univision Communications reached a deal to sell Gizmodo Media Group and The Onion to a private equity firm, Great Hill Partners, for an undisclosed amount. With the sale, Great Hill will form a new company called Geo Media, headed by blah 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 blah. Terms of the all-cash deal weren't disclosed. According to a person familiar with the deal, Great Hill is paying considerably less than the $135 million that Univision paid in August 2016 for the Gawker assets in a bankruptcy auction, which didn't include Gawker.com. Univision acquired a 40% stake in The Onion in January 2017. The brands moving from Univision to Geo Media are Gizmodo, Jalopink, Jezebel, Deadspin, Lifehacker, Kotaku, Splinter, The Root, and The Onion. That's also the AV Club, Clickhole, motherfuckers, and The Takeout. Layoffs expected.
I am so sorry that The Onion might go down, but
we were just joking, and I forget who said that in chat, but like Kotaku's going down, Jezebel right in the ass. Fuck you. The AV Club, you fucking leftards, and Clickhole, that's just the worst of the internet.
Yes.
I mean, it's good. Every fucking one of you. And The Root, well, looks like what's Michael Harrison?
Michael Harriet.
Michael Harriet. Yeah, the leader of, yes, it's the name of his group, Niggas Who Read. I guess you're going to have to go back to it and build that organization instead of putting stuff for people to enjoy ironically in streams like ours.
Oh, this is horrible news for Lords of the Night.
No,
kind of. But
there's still a lot of stupid out there. Faithless says The Onion can't even compete with reality anymore. You know, I want to address that. That's not true. It's not true. The problem is The Onion is only directed in one way, and they have trouble doing it in that way. This story came from it's not what is it? It's not the Fresno Bee, the Babylon Bee.
Oh, I love Babylon Bee. By
the way, is funnier than The Onion these days.
Yep.
Ocasio-Cortez suddenly shifts to speaking like Jar Jar Binks while addressing crowd of Gungans. There's still plenty of humor to be had out there, but they won't go after somebody like Ocasio-Cortez.
Yeah, good call. That's fair enough. Yeah.
So yeah, they deserve what they're getting, and it's sad because The Onion used to be fucking great.
Yeah, they did shift left. Gizmodo did that whole conglomerate business didn't help. The thing I like about Duffel Blog, the military version of The Onion and the Babylon Bee, is that they do seem to try to smack at both sides equally, which is nice.
Well, there's fun to be had on both sides.
Yeah. And they're humorless fucks on the right, big time. Don't you criticize Trump? Don't you make fun of Trump ever? And it's like, come on, when he's funny, he's funny.
Looking at you, every late night comedian.
Yeah.
There's comedy all over. Like not just Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel, but fucking Samantha Bee, fucking Jim Jeffries, John Oliver.
Funny.
Well, now, but I mean, their content is aimed in one direction only.
Well, people used to be funny, and now they're talking about their snooch smelling like barnyard junk, and isn't that hilarious? Because they can't say anything else. Because of the
Walmart is doubling down on robot janitors. Here's why. Because it's cheaper.
Well, you want a fixed minimum wage, dude? This is what you get.
Yeah, I was reading through Yang's universal basic income thing because people keep arguing. Yang, he lays out how it's going to work. Here's one of the best part. I was reading this, and it's one of those things where you have to not be a believer in order to see it, because people who believe that they won't see it. But one of his reasons, actually the main reason for universal basic income, according to Andrew Yang, is because we're losing so many jobs. You're going to lose even a whole bunch more because of robotics. And so we gotta give everybody $1,000 a month. And then what will universal basic income do? Well, it's going to give people money, and that's going to create a bunch of jobs. It's like, what?
No.
For more robots?
No.
Someone's got to oil them.
These top-down Keynesians are insane. They're just that doesn't work.
Hang on a second. All right. Keep talking, but I can't hear you for a second.
What if we change it just a little and make the robots not look like robots, so they're robots in disguise?
You go to hell.
Well,
Jack's Utopia, a Walmart staffed entirely by Asian sex robots.
that's where I thought he was going with that. But okay,
God behind that, but Decepticons, no.
Yeah.
I'm voting for Yang so he breaks the system. I don't think you like the way he's going to break it.
No, he's going to break it to tiny little pieces. You know,
another thing he says in there, if you give people $1,000 each month, people complain that they're not going to work anymore. But studies show if you give people free money, it actually makes them go to work more. I'm like, what people?
Not in Denmark, it didn't.
What fucking people.
Denmark did this.
If I got $1,000 a month, I wouldn't work.
They had that unlimited unemployment compensation, and they finally said, "No, we're done." And the minute they put a cap on it, like the week before, everybody was going to run out of getting their check. They went and got jobs.
My favorite part of Yang's website, where he's explaining all this, is like, where did the idea of universal basic income come from? And instead of actually telling you where it came from, communist. He starts off in like the 60s. Like, well, in the 1960s, Martin Luther King liked it. Like, yeah, well, he didn't come up with it. Where'd it come from?
Martin Luther King wasn't an economist either.
Back up a little bit.
But he was a communist.
Yes, he was.
Sorry, that was uncalled for. Go ahead.
No, it wasn't. It's the truth. I mean,
yeah, King was a communist.
I know. It's just people, whatever.
So
Moving on.
W.E.B. Du Bois.
I mean, it's not mean to say so. At the time, it was, yeah. How the hell could you live on $1,000 a month? $1,000 barely would keep you going for 2 weeks. It depends on where you live. One,
it would cover here.
Two. Well, here's the idea. Let's say, okay, you make $4,000 a week at your job right now. I know that's a lot, or a month. Sorry.
I was going to say, you pay me right now. I'll do whatever you tell me.
But suddenly they're giving you an extra $1,000. You don't have to work as much or as long because you have that. The idea that people are going to.
Milton Friedman actually had posited a universal basic income, but it was without any other social safety net. So the idea was you were basically paying people their social safety net up front, and there was nothing else. But as we know, no government program ever goes away once established.
Now, I don't know all of what Friedman wrote, but what is quoted there is not him backing up universal basic income. It's backing up just giving people on the system a flat sum rather than having all these different systems.
Yes.
Rather than having food stamps and welfare and different programs that pay for, like if your lights go out, that kind of stuff. You just get this flat $1,000. And it wasn't to everybody in the country. Not what he quoted in his thing, which I would think would be part of what he was trying to.
It's a step ladder is all it is. Just a tiny little step ladder to help people.
I'm going to piss off a lot of people with this. It's a pipe dream of communists, guys.
Yeah.
If you go back, If you go back and listen to my debate I had with, oh God, I forget his name, but we debated communism on my channel a long time ago. That was the thing.
That
Like,
was
well,
Communist in Space.
was it him?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And the thing, well, how do people live with, because his whole idea is that eventually robots will take over everything so people can just not work. And you'll just get a basic income that's coming from the government so that everybody can go out and do art.
Yeah, you know how that works out? Look at Slab City in Mount California. It's a bunch of shiftless layabouts, doing nothing but gluing junk together and calling it art. Nobody runs anything. There's no running water. They have to go to the nearby town, which is functional, to get things. It's a complete disaster. It's total anarchy. That is not a way to live.
You know, I saw a documentary on that town, and they got. Have you seen the library they got there?
Yeah.
The one lady runs the library, and it's. I thought about trolling that place hard, like going and donating a bunch of books, and it's all like Milton Friedman and
Common Soul and
yeah, Plato's Republic, 50 copies of the Bible.
Nice. That would actually
Why
be
I
fun.
hate Karl Marx.
Yeah, and every book Ben Shapiro's written in multiple copies.
Loud Subwoofer says, if nobody works and pays taxes, where's the money coming from? Well, in Wang, in Dick's
Thank you.
version of this, it's going to cause more people to work, so you're going to have a higher tax base. Plus, he's going to slap a 10% VAT tax.
Oh yeah, so you're going to put a VAT on top of your progressive income tax because he's not getting rid of that.
The VAT tax is only going to be on corporations.
Oh, that'll work.
Yes, the
10% VAT
commies piggy bank. That's,
Well,
Yeah,
ching, 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 ching.
we'll always be able to get more money.
It's Wang.
Yang.
Whatever.
Andrew
Wang.
Yang.
We're the Wang Gang.
Wang Yang. He's a delusional
That's the problem with these anarcho types. They're all pipe dreams. You know, they don't live in reality, because anything that is getting free stuff like that always falls apart or descends into totalitarianism, inevitably.
Well, no. Satsu asked a great question on Lords of the Night tonight. What happens if you implement this and then for some reason you have to stop? All those people who are getting that $1,000 a month, what happens to them?
They die.
Well, they're going to spend the money. They're going to waste it, rather.
Well, you've just taken away from them. That's how they pay their bills. That's how they make sure they make their rent. What happens to them when you have to pull that away?
They're going to die.
Or riot.
Well, and then die. Because that's what happens. I mean, the main problem with communism to me is that it ignores that humans are hierarchical. So it completely fouls up the way we establish a society to begin with. There are always going to be the go-getters, there will be smarter, the faster, stronger, all of that
Jesus.
will rise to the top. And this class envy thing it is ever thus. There's always somebody out there that's smarter than you.
I'm sorry. I'm watching this video of this college student freaking out because of a MAGA hat.
Yeah, I just retweeted that.
Oh, yeah. That's why it's on my timeline. Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Guys, I'm going to throw this out there for you. Because, dear Christ, I wake up and watch my people die every day. Every day.
What do you live in Chicago? Shut up.
And it's not because of a MAGA hat if that's where it's happening.
That's part of the problem. We're creating a society of dependence.
Yes, exactly.
And they're helpless without somebody to tell them what to do, because they don't know how to survive on their own. Whether it's dealing with the emotional loss of an election, seeing a hat, or possibly the color red. I don't know what's triggering these idiots.
Seeing a hat.
Well, that's what it is. It's literally seeing a hat.
I love it.
You create a system where you enable people to be dependent and not be on their own, and they become infantilized. They become children again, and they don't know how to go out and fend for themselves. And if things fall apart, which they inevitably do under communism, they're either going to die or they're going to become the most vile, repulsive criminals possible. There's a great book on North Korea called Nothing to Envy. And it was talking about how during the Great Famine, the true believers that believed in the dictates of Kim Il-sung, they all died because they starved to death.
Mhm.
The people that were willing to cheat the system and like have their own gardens and commit crimes and work with the black market, they survived because they were willing to go outside of the rules. And that's exactly what's going to happen with this sort of system that they want to do.
Yeah, the obedient get put up against the wall. I mean, they do. All these useful idiots.
How do you say it? Solange cancels Coachella set due to major production delays.
You mean Beyonce's sister Solange?
I'm guessing.
Okay.
Apparently that's news.
No, but okay.
It's in the news, Polly.
I stand corrected. It must be news.
Okay, granted, it's page 6, but it's in the news.
Jazz Fest in New Orleans has gotten wrecked twice because the Rolling Stones pulled out. Fleetwood Mac stepped in, and now they've pulled out.
Oh, I would have actually seen Fleetwood Mac.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
What's it, a geriatric festival?
Yeah, it sounds like it. Stevie Nicks apparently has the flu. So I
Ugh.
guess she sounds like
I think she has just old age.
Influenza-riddled goat. Yeah, I know. Took my love, took it down.
Ugh.
Hey, at her age, influenza could be deadly.
Yeah.
Oh, dear
Yeah.
Lord. Okay. CrossFit co-founder Lauren Janai, I think I say that, to marry man jailed on murder charges.
Oh,
Wow.
God.
I wonder if they use a CrossFit in that jail.
I hope so. Let's see. CrossFit co-founder Lauren Janai plans to marry accused murderer Franklin Tyrone Tucker while he's in a Florida jail. The multimillionaire fitness guru told us she's not even making him sign a prenup.
Oh,
That's smart.
We previously reported that Janai, the ex-wife and former business partner of CrossFit mastermind Greg Glassman, struck up a relationship with high school classmate Tucker on Facebook, but he was then arrested on first-degree murder charges with 2 other men in a Florida Keys case, known as the Treehouse Murder. In the bizarre crime, a man who came to the aid of a neighbor being robbed at knife point was stabbed to death. Tucker maintains his innocence. Janai, who reportedly sold her CrossFit shares for up to $20 million as part of her messy split from Glassman in 2013, had told us how she fell for Tucker during their video chats.
Oh.
We hadn't seen each other in 30 years. We started having feelings for each other. We're going to get married, she said. She's been fighting for Tucker's freedom, and the two planned to wed when he got out on bond. But his bail was denied at a January 29th hearing. Dun, dun, dun.
the man keeps them apart.
Man, that's horrible.
Now, see, if they had kids together, those kids should be locked up with him. That's how
Yeah,
the rules.
shit.
Good callback.
Thank you.
Wait a second. However, there's been more pressure for them to get together because Janai has been barred from video visitation with Tucker for a whopping 100 years after an incident in February. Quote, I got a little risque. I was touching my boobs, she admitted.
Oh, Billy.
Billy.
Little Midnight Express going on over in Florida.
Dear Christ, what is wrong with people? He's a fucking, okay, he's an accused murderer. We don't know he did it, but looking at him, he did it. You did it. You look like a felon.
He's got criminal
look
head
like-
shape.
Well, you tell me.
He's got a
You tell
criminal
me.
head shape.
He doesn't look like he's already been in for a long time.
Oh, yeah, my phrenologist would say that dude's guilty.
That
What is
dude's guilty. Look at him.
I love you. Oh, yeah.
He did it with a
Yeah.
Budweiser in hand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or a Schlitz.
Ugh.
Schlitz.
Don't get
He did,
sand
yeah.
in your Schlitz.
That
Oh,
chick's
man.
dumb.
You know what I haven't done in a long time? I haven't checked the hashtag. I should do that soon. Let's do that now.
And what's that
The
hashtag?
If you'd like to send a story that I'll probably ignore, send it over to the hashtag MITAM on the Twitters. That's where you send things to die until I remember.
He doesn't ask me anymore. He just does.
This is not how you encourage people, Monkey.
And yet they still send stuff.
That's a statement of their devotion, not your
Reverse
correctness.
psychology. Let's see. Cory Booker introduces bill on slavery reparations. This comes from Ramen Lewis.
Oh, fuck you in the ass.
Cory
Jesus.
Booker on Monday introduced a bill that would study the possibility of reparations for descendants of slaves, embracing a push that recently has caught the interest of fellow 2020 Democratic presidential candidates. The senator from New Jersey said Monday that this bill is a way of addressing head-on the persistence of racism, white supremacy, and implicit racial bias in our country. It will do none of that. None of that. Somebody please explain to me how this is going to address head-on the persistence of racism, white supremacy, and implicit racial bias.
By giving Cory Booker and those who support the measure a means to bring it up.
So, Cory. Quote, this is still part of the quote. It will bring together the best minds to study the issue and propose solutions that will finally begin to right the economic scales of past harms and make sure we are a country where all dignity and humanity is affirmed. By giving people money.
Remember the poly approach or the poly theory? Never explain away by ideology what can be more easily or accurately explained away by political motivation.
Yeah.
That's what's going on here. It's like, do you actually believe it? No. The poly dictate postulates that he doesn't believe it at all. And come on, the man's smart. He's a clever man. There's no fucking way he thinks this is a good idea or that it has any likelihood of going ahead. So then why would he even do it? Political expediency.
We got to wait for what T-Bone thinks.
Okay.
I think that needs to be called Dub's Razor, by the way.
Well,
Dub's Razor.
Dub's Razor. This is another quote. Since slavery in this country, we have had overt policies fueled by white supremacy and racism that have oppressed African Americans economically for generations. Many of our bedrock domestic policies that have ushered millions of Americans into the middle class have systemically excluded blacks through practices like the GI Bill discrimination and redlining. Mr. Booker. This is why they don't like to talk about Asians. If you think we treated blacks like shit, and we did, look at how we treated Asians. I mean, they weren't even people. They were just a cog in the wheel to build our fucking railroads.
Yeah, the coolies.
And laundromats.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
But you don't hear about how they've been systemically kept from the middle class because they're all fucking rich now. Why? Because they studied. Reno says the Irish. No, whatever other group you want. Look at how Asians were treated when Chinese people, man. Go look under the railroads. You'll still find some.
Haha.
If you really want to help African Americans, tell them to stop bitching about things that haven't affected them at all. That literally have not affected them at all.
Well, then you would have to take personal responsibility for your life and put effort into change. And these all sound very hard.
They're dirty words, dude. Don't use those.
Yeah, and nobody wants to do that. That just seems too much work. It's easier just to sit back and complain.
I'm not saying there's never been racism, and racism specifically targeted towards blacks, because that would be retarded. We know there has been. But unless you can point to something specific that's going on right now, You got nothing. You got nothing. You're just like, oh, I give blacks money because they'll vote for me.
So you guys we're talking about like a lack of responsibility and different things before, and specifically Jack. It's like, I don't agree substantively with what you're saying, but I think identifying it as a feeling infantile, where like, you can't get along in society and you're going to die because everybody. I would honestly say that it's at some point claiming victim status became a powerful social grab, and it is. If you're talking to somebody, you're having a conversation. Let's say you're watching a couple of news entertainers go back and forth, and one of them says, "I was raised in a neighborhood where I was called these bad racial epithets over and over again," and they're talking about the economy. The other person now just has a leg up in the conversation. It doesn't make any sense that they do, but they do, because there's you can pull a social power grab by claiming victim status. I'm a gay man and I was beaten up for it 2 years ago, and you're talking about whether or not to introduce gambling legislation into your state. Somehow you have a leg up in the conversation because you have the victim status. It is a social power grab, and it works. The idea of slavery reparations would have been laughable in politics 15 years ago to bring it up. So why is it even, because now there's a resurgence of it. Nobody was even talking about it 5 years ago, except for the furthest gone wingnuts. So why now? Would there be a resurgence of it? Because of the power involved in claiming victim status.
They did talk about it about 20 years ago. It was pretty big around the time Clinton was first elected, actually. So even a little longer than that.
Yeah.
So it's something that's coming back up, but it's stupid. It's fucking stupid. It's not going to fix racism. It's not actually going to do anything. Even if you do give them money, most people are not going to go, okay, I'm going to save this or invest it. They're going to go, TV time. I'm going to get me that PS4, yo.
I'm pretty sure that effectively reparations have been given through things like affirmative action.
Hate fact.
Yeah. Big time hate fact.
But no, what'll happen is, because it's not going to be any sizable amounts. Not going to give people $100,000. Look at what happens with things like the earned income credit. You're going to give them money and they're just going to spend it immediately. And then what happens? Oh, well, you guys didn't what? We didn't what?
Oh, it'll be something that is never enough. You give $100,000. Once that's gone, you owe us more money.
If you were genuinely going to deal with slavery as a human thing, we just need to form that I'd like to teach the world to sing. It kind of
give everyone a Coke
around the earth. Well, yeah, just pass everybody $1 standing next to you and go, I think that takes care of it. Because honest to God, how far back in our lineage do we want to go? I'm sure somebody in my DNA somewhere was oppressed by somebody in the Khanate.
Well, sure, and I get the argument that it's all around the world, but I mean, we're talking about addressing, U.S. slavery, and that was a black thing here in the U.S.
Yes, and there have been ample reparations, like Jack said, already made.
Oh, I'm not denying that. I'm just saying that even if they did it, one, it's not going to solve any of the racial things Cory Booker thinks it will, and two, it's not like it's going to give many. You know what? There might be some who are smart and put it into a business or into savings. Most people are going to just spend it.
Well,
yeah, you know why?
With the Great Society, and it backfired.
Well, here's why. Because it's the same reason lottery winners tend to go broke.
Yep. And a lot of celebrities.
Cash in your pocket, burning a hole in it.
No, you have these people who don't know how to handle money, and suddenly you give them a bunch of money. You know why they didn't have money before?
They couldn't handle money.
Anyway, a Tennessee woman allegedly stole a police vehicle after a skirmish at a car wash, officials said. Well, good job, lady. You went from a minor altercation to stealing a police car. Jennifer Stewart, 31, allegedly had broken into a separate vehicle and got into a physical altercation with the victim at the car wash. A police sergeant, hoping to separate the two, placed Stewart in the back of his car. However, when the officer went to speak to the apparent victim, police said Stewart appeared to crawl through the divider from the back seat into the front seat of the patrol car. Stewart then drove off in the vehicle.
Can I interrupt right here for a second? Does anyone else have the image that she was all soaped up and sexy from being in the car wash fight? Because it was a car wash, you have to assume they were fighting with sponges and there was foam everywhere.
And that's
Well,
how
here
she
she is, Jack.
slithered through the barrier.
Yeah.
There's your sudsy sultran.
Whoa! Oh, dear God. Why would you show me that?
Look, I bet she sucks a good dick.
Yeah, for meth. I
Look,
think I chased her off the lawn once with a broom. Get out of here, you hobo.
Now, I feel like you're being
Sexist?
no, no, I don't mind sexism around here.
Lookist?
Classist, because she looks like she belongs in a trailer park. You need to be nice, man. Trailer park girls, they're whores, man, and you got to hit that.
Yeah, and they have fewer teeth to accidentally bite your dick with, but
What the fuck?
If they're missing enough,
No, really.
listen, if they're missing enough teeth, there'll just be one that kind of tickles the side.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I like how Polly got indignant there. What are you, a dentist?
I don't know. I'm just doing some editing in Vegas, and I'm kind of like drifting in and out of what you're saying. I just caught part of it. I was like, "What the fuck are you guys talking about?"
Well, all things considered, that whole thing went better than this one. Florida man fatally shot at a restaurant after an argument. Both of these stories came from Massive Dynamic, by the way. Gainesville, one man is dead and another behind bars following a shooting. God, what is this? What is this? Get that ad off my fucking screen. Following a shooting at a beloved southern restaurant chain. Authorities say a Florida man.
Sorry.
Jesus.
A Florida man, 41 years old, was fatally shot after he got into an argument with a man at a Waffle House restaurant.
Oh, not Waffle House.
The Alachua County Sheriff's Office says Craig Brewer was shot and killed early Sunday morning at Waffle House in Gainesville, Florida, located about 4 miles from the University of Florida campus, in case you guys wanted to go see where the bloodstains are. The Sheriff's Office says 25-year-old Ezekiel Hicks got into an argument with Brewer inside the restaurant and then went outside to retrieve a handgun. The fuck were they arguing over?
Syrup.
Why you put that on your investigators say Hicks went back inside, argued with Brewer again, and shot Brewer in the head.
Oh my God.
Video captured the shooting.
That'll learn them.
Oh my God. Give me my strawberry butter. Get your hands on my hash browns. Boom.
They'll be arguing no more.
Yeah. Woof.
Oh, we're not going to read that.
Don't get in arguments at Waffle House. That's the lesson there.
Look,
People are nuts.
why would you? That's okay. That was racist.
You should be too busy eating.
What the hell?
You should be too busy trying to get the hell out of there because you're at a Waffle House.
Hey.
No, you go in, you eat real fast, and then you get out before the bums talk to you. That's how Waffle House works.
Get out before the diarrhea starts.
Yeah. You got to worry about diarrhea, homeless people, and murderous truckers. That's what is attracted to the Waffle House and
That's
the occasional drunk college kid.
The way of the egg. I just had eggs. I need to go home now.
Random says, who can have a proper argument there? I would think they would be all going back and forth between positions, waffling.
Thank you, Random.
That's a long way for a joke, but it was well played. Ilhan Omar, AOC, and the silencing of women of color in Congress.
Oh, God.
This one comes to us from Frosted Glass. On Saturday, a New York man was arrested for allegedly calling the offices of Representative Ilhan Omar and threatening to put a bullet in her skull. He asked Omar staffer, "Do you work for the Muslim Brotherhood?" Then he called their boss a terrorist. Well, we don't know that she's not.
Mm-hmm.
The threat against Omar appears inspired by the rhetoric of President Donald Trump.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
The man arrested, Patrick Carliano, I think is it, Jr., told law enforcement officials that he loves the president and that he hates radical Muslims in our government. That doesn't mean one came from the other. Has Trump even talked about Omar?
No.
Probably passing.
But
I don't
not
think he's mentioned her. He's mentioned AOC a couple of times.
I think
Anyhow,
he stayed away from it because of the Muslim ban.
it's not the first time Trump's words have seemingly moved one of his supporters to violence. Last year, for instance, a man mailed pipe bombs to CNN and prominent Democrats, all of whom Trump had attacked publicly. He didn't mail pipe bombs.
Trump publicly attacked George Soros?
According to this.
Oh, okay.
This is Vox, by the way. So.
Oh, right.
There's also there's also something distinctly racial and gendered about the aggression directed at Omar, who was Black and one of the first Muslim women in Congress. She has been surrounded by controversy because she's an anti-Semite and personal attacks since she took office in January. Attacks that are explicitly about silencing outspoken women of color. Explicitly about. Okay, you're gonna have to give me these explicit examples. You don't know what that word means, do you? You might have meant implicitly. Omar first became the subject of scrutiny for criticizing the influence of the American Israel Public Affairs Committee. Time out. Back up. That just happened last month.
Yep.
And she told us that, they told us that she's been the subject of, or surrounded by controversy and personal attacks since she took office in January.
Yep.
Wait, isn't she the one that married her brother?
Yep.
Yes.
I would say that was probably her first controversy.
Mm-hmm.
That is unproven.
It is unproven, but she is getting a divorce
From somebody who's her brother.
Who's her brother. She first became the subject of scrutiny by AIPAC by making comments that many perceived as invoking anti-Semitic tropes. Because she did. Though Omar apologized, she's continued to face censure not just from Republicans, but from her own party.
When did that happen?
Yeah, she apologized. It was like, yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, so don't call me out again.
House Democrats, this is where the censure from her own party comes from. House Democrats voted on a resolution condemning hate speech that was widely seen as a reprimand to Omar. Well, it was, and it was something that she voted for too because it got her off the hook.
It wasn't widely seen that way. I don't think it was.
No, it was seen as helping her out because remember there were a couple of Republicans who didn't vote for it because it wasn't against all hate speech.
It was, it identified basically that hate can only flow from white people in the United States.
Yep.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Christians and Christians and white people were not covered by their little.
But women were, so basically hate can only flow from white Christian men.
White Christian.
Yeah.
And she became a frequent target for Trump, who has repeatedly smeared her and even called for her to resign. Okay. And Omar is far from the only woman new to Congress who's been a lightning rod for controversy and personal attacks. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has become a favorite target of conservative media, which has criticized everything from her policies, her tweets, her clothes, her bank account, and her working class upbringing.
Oh, shit.
Nobody has criticized her working class upbringing.
Because she didn't have one.
Wait a minute. Her dad was an architect.
They pointed out that she didn't have a working class upbringing.
Oh, that's when they pounced, monkey.
That Sandy was a little rich girl
From Westbury.
Oh my God. Yeah, but the rest of this goes on for quite a while. And it's all about how these poor women's, man.
Her dad died intestate, and now she wants everyone to be intestees. It's just.
This is all about how they're nobody likes them because they're women of color. They're walks.
Yeah.
Oh, Reno says she has an economics degree, for Christ's sake. Oh, it's worse than that.
No,
She's got an
she
economics
does not.
and international relations degree.
She doesn't have an economics degree at all.
Nope.
Look
I
at
thought it was
the
international relations with economics.
It's
it was a combo of the two.
international relations and economics. If you look at the goddamn syllabus at BU, it's not economics. She probably took one survey
Well,
and 3 other courses like economics of Central America, economics of South America.
there's rumors going around that she doesn't have a because she's actually stated I have a degree in economics. She's actually said that many times.
Right.
But it's rumored she only has 12 hours in economic programs.
That'd be a minor.
It's not even a minor at Boston
You
University.
got
It's
12
part of the
hours when Jesus Christ, that's
It's
barely
part of the
survey.
requirement. It's part of the requirement for the BA in International
Okay.
Studies in Economics.
First we got
Trust me, go to BU's.
No, we have to recognize her understanding of what a degree is,
That's true.
because she also thought that the 3 chambers of government were the president, the House, and the Congress.
It's true.
So
The House and the Senate, yeah.
the fact that she took one class might mean that she has a degree in her mind. It's how magical thinking works.
No, I actually looked it up. I really did. She
Well, I believe you that's.
graduated from BU,
I understand
cum
that.
laude, but I
But
looked at the
in her
syllabus.
brain, it's different than how it is on paper in reality.
Yeah, she took that course, so she's got a degree.
Yeah, I mean, but if you look at the course of study for that degree, you see where she gets her bullshit about economics. She probably took an external course from the economics department, but there are courses under that international studies degree called economics of.
Hang
I
on.
think she saw a TV show on it.
Probably MCRN. She watched CNBC one day.
Yeah.
MCRN says AOC morally graduated, even if not literally.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually,
nice.
Yeah,
Yes.
she has a degree in morality.
Okay. This one comes to us from our very own Jack the motherfucking Cochran.
Woo, I love that guy.
Former Representative Beta O'Rourke, a 2020 Democrat presidential candidate, says giving amnesty to all 11 to 22 million illegal aliens in America, and specifically the angel families who've lost loved ones to illegal alien crime, will make them demonstrably safer in the United States. During a town hall in Iowa this week, O'Rourke, who was asked about the thousands of angel families who've lost children, parents, grandparents, relatives, and friends to crimes committed by illegals living in the U.S. O'Rourke said in response that his plan to amnesty all illegal aliens living in the U.S. will make angel families and American citizens demonstrably safer. O'Rourke said he would only deport illegal aliens after they have committed a crime against an American citizen. The exchange went as follows. Iowa voter. I know you are for tearing down existing walls, and you're basically for open borders. Have you ever met any angel moms here in Iowa? There's a woman by the name of Michelle Root, about 100 miles east of here, and her daughter Sarah was killed by a drunk illegal alien right after she graduated from college. What would you tell her about your immigration stance?
Uh-oh.
First, I'd tell her, through you, if I could get this message to her, that I am deeply sorry for your loss. And I would also like to share with you that I think I understand the spirit of your question, but the premise is incorrect. I'm not for open borders, dude. I do think there are places where physical barriers along the 2,000-mile U.S.-Mexican border makes sense. We'll be demonstrably safer when we know who's in this country. And right now, there are millions. Like, there are millions of those in the shadows that we know nothing about today. Oh, excuse me. Give them the chance to get right with the law, dude. Come into the light of day. This is a fucking moron.
Yep.
That was so well done.
Oh my god! I had to mute because I was spitting.
That was so well done.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, God.
Oh, fuck.
Just bring them into the light of day. It'll make everybody safer because how?
Yeah, because
That makes sense.
and they only have to commit. They only have to break the law like against a person, an American citizen, except he doesn't understand that the citizen is the state.
Faithless just said it perfect. By making them legal, there are no longer angel moms. Magic. Exactly. Thank you, Shrouded Angel. Donation thing. I believe that's one of the free ones you get if you are a member of something or other. I don't know how it works exactly on the YouTubes, but if you're a member of something, you get $2 a month that you can give to your favorite creators. And thank you so much for making me one of them, Shrouded Angel. What else do we have here? No, I'm
This is only if they commit a crime against an American citizen, so they can go ahead and kill each other.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
It's like the old days. It's not a crime. It's just property damage.
Or Jesus. Or they can kill, like, say, a visiting foreign national.
Right.
As long as it's not an American, man.
I think that the way the Democrats talk about the illegal aliens, they don't talk about them like they're people.
They don't.
They talk about them like they're a statistic or a voter, or
they see them as votes, man.
As a potential vote. Yeah.
No, as a certain vote.
Oh, you're right. A certain vote. That's how they see them.
It's very sickening because it's kind of dehumanizing, and it's very insulting to the legal citizens that are the legal immigrants that came here through the proper channels, as well as insulting to the illegals. So
they do the same damn thing to every other minority.
Yeah, I know, but I'm kind of sick of it. It's disgusting.
Yeah, now
I just want to,
unlike that beautiful baby on the screen right now.
Yeah, I just want to share this real quick. It was sent to us on the hashtag, and Jordan, you are a hero.
Yes, you are, Jordan.
Thanks, Jordan. You're out of the will.
Hey, that's just one of them.
Oh, God.
It's one of the better ones. See how she's looking at me in that picture?
She was. It was like her eyes were saying, Jack.
Yeah, she's saying her secret words like and the and.
No. Stop kidnapping me and putting me in the back of this trunk.
Oh no, it's mostly a bunch of gibberish in Japanese because I don't speak Japanese.
The timing of chat comments is perfect because I know why 789 in chat just said proxy bioweapons. I was like, ooh.
Well, yes.
What don't we know?
What was her name? I have no idea.
Dude, hot Asian chick.
The only women's names who I care about are the ones that are my friends and family. If it's just some hot chick, I say I don't give a fuck. Her name is whatever I want it to be.
If you throw an extra $50 at them, their name is whatever you want.
Yeah. And you know what? Desperate 20.
Yeah.
So I was talking to Zelthor in Discord the other day, and that poor man has not seen any of the Back to the Future movies.
What?
Yeah, and I'm like, man, it's not and I was just saying, like, man, it's not a movie that you have to see. It's just a super blast of an adventure. Like, treat yourself, watch them,
The first Back to the Future, everyone should see. It is such a good movie.
What a fun film, man. Yeah. I mean, and then the third one I really dig because I'm a big Western fan, right?
Me too. And you're the only other person I've heard who likes it.
Oh, fuck.
I fucking love the third.
Great film. It's like the second one is, it's great. It's a nice bridge film. Between the other two. That's the way I look at it.
What were you doing there, Dax? Did you like 3?
I love 3.
Oh, 3's great.
Yeah, everybody likes the third one.
Yeah, you know what? But what made it come to mind is not only Zelthor in chat. No, man, I'm not calling you out, Zelthor. He's like, hey. No, it's like, by all means, treat yourself. Watch Back to the Future, man. You get to see it for the first time, you lucky bastard.
He's saying, why are you putting me on blast? He's not putting you on blast.
At all.
I am. What the fuck is wrong with you? Watch the movie.
We're excited for the opportunity that is presented to you, Zelthor.
Yeah.
You get to watch these movies, and it's a cultural icon of a film, all 3 of them.
It's the film version of banging your first Asian chick, dude. Come do it.
Oh, God.
What?
Okay.
But it happened.
And what I was...
It starts out tight, and it stays tight the entire time.
Oh, God. So what I was telling Zelthor is like, it's a very dated film, but because it's a time travel movie, it's fucking perfect that he's an 80s kid. It absolutely works that it's so dated because he's a kid from 1985 and the film is a very 1985 movie, but great. That just sells it all the much more, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's why I like what was that? Was it Ready Player One? The one that had all the nostalgic crap in it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Just watch an 80s movie. There's tons of them out there.
Yeah, but they
So
don't
the,
actually sit down and watch it. They'll watch somebody else watch it, essentially.
So I watched Back to the Future 3 recently, and what brought it to mind was not only that Zelthor was in chat and that I just recently watched, but you guys are talking about, like, so they can just go ahead and kill each other under Beto's understanding of, like, as long as they're not committing crimes against citizens. And it made me think when they were reading about Mad Dog Tannen in the Hill Valley history book, and it's like, he killed 30 men, not including Chinese.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Well, that's what they used to do with guys in the Old West. They would pump up their count. If you watch Young Guns 2, Dave, he constantly talks about how many men he's killed, not counting Chinese and Indians. It was a way they pumped up their number.
It was way too easy to kill them because there wasn't much of a sanction.
No, it's because they didn't count.
Yeah.
I mean, shoot a Chinese person dead. I mean, you might have to pay the laundromat owner a couple dollars so you can get a new one. But otherwise, you're not going to jail for it. That's just fact. I'm not making that up.
You should. Asians are more beautiful than we are.
They were Asian dudes.
Oh, yeah, that doesn't count.
What they did to the Asian females, I'm not talking about on the show. I would say Japanese, but that's a personal experience. Oh, never mind. I don't want to know your personal experience.
Yeah, you don't want to know.
No, but if you haven't seen a movie like Back to the Future, definitely check it out. This is a great movie. Great movie. What the fuck's wrong with you, man? Watch it.
I don't think there's anything wrong with him. He just hasn't come across it yet.
I'm just fucking with him. You leave me alone. What's the title about? Ask your boy Pat. Twitter has implemented new rules where you can only follow up to 400 people a day. And the Krassensteins.
Whoa, seriously?
Seriously, yeah.
Hold on, what do you mean you can only follow 400 people a day? What does that mean?
You can only add 400 new followers a day.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Whoa, really cracking down, huh?
Well, it used to be 1,000, so I mean, it is more than half.
Well, it's still a fucking farce. I mean, are you fucking kidding me? You can follow 400 fucking people in a day. Are you fucking kidding? Like, what? How are you? It doesn't even make sense. Like, I guess if you were starting a new account, I mean, you can't follow 400 people in your fucking timeline. What a bunch of bullshit. What all their inflated fucking user stats. Oh, look how active our fucking community is. When you got fucking the Krasen fucks following 5,000 fucking people. Well, no, way more than that, aren't they?
1.3 million combined.
1.3 million combined. Oh, really? You're reading through that? Like, I know they look like androids, but they're actually not. I mean, don't tell me you can fucking follow that many people.
None of them are bots, honey.
Androids are smarter.
No, what the Krassensteins have to do, they have to, in order to maintain their account, they had to be muting people immediately when they started following them.
Of course. Otherwise, the only person they don't have muted is fucking at the real Donald Trump. I mean, and maybe at POTUS.
And each other, honey, because you don't.
True.
Have you ever seen them have conversations with each other?
Love poems.
They talk to each other in Donald Trump's tweets.
I know, it's sad.
It's funny as shit.
They're flirting in Donald Trump's timeline.
We've made a love connection.
Do you think they do that over a candlelight dinner? Jesus.
Probably.
With Barry White.
Yeah, you know they're not wearing pants under that table when they do the Krassenstein.
That's because they can't put their own pants on. That's the handler's job.
There's this species in the Star Trek universe called the Miradorns. And they're all twins, and they can't live without each other. Like, quite literally, they're two parts of the same being, even though they kind of come across like twins. They're actually like psychically connected. And it just reminds me of the Krassenstein so much. I'm like, the Miradorns are real. My God. It's
do the Miradorns have sex with each other?
That's creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm never going to be able to hear. Ooh.
You know who this really hurts, though, is the Russian bots. And I think that's probably Russia-phobic.
Well, the way they said it, they said follow, unfollow, follow, unfollow. Who does that? Spammers. So I'm guessing that's a way to trick the Twitter algorithm, is to just follow and unfollow people to make it look like they're getting a lot of followers that day. I don't know that for sure, but with what they said, I mean.
Well, if you unfollow and then refollow, it's a soft block.
what if I need to hurry up and purge a bunch of the porn stars that I'm following because my girlfriend's going to check my Twitter? I can only purge 400 of them now.
That's true. Well, no, you can stop following as many people as you like. You can only follow 400.
Oh, okay, good.
Oh, yeah.
Do you,
Otherwise, you'd need staff, Jack.
Yeah.
after watching Jack, his lawyer, on Joe Rogan with Tim Pool, after watching his lawyer talk and Jack not talk, do you believe anything coming out of Twitter anymore?
Mm-mm.
It was like I never. It's like, oh yeah, these are, you know, shifty, woke corporate types over there. That's what I had assumed before I watched that interview. But after that, it was like it was cemented. It became calcified. Holy fuck, you people are just the worst.
There goes Polly's Twitter. Time to make a Gab account.
Jack in front of Congress and his with the Ahmadinejad look.
Yeah.
It was just the thing. I was like, oh. And the minute Alex Jones ran outside after him, next thing you know, Alex Jones gets unpersoned. It was like, oh. That's what you get when you get a bunch of boomers in Congress who know nothing about how any social media works. I mean, there were maybe 3 people on that panel that day who had any fucking idea what was going on.
The Peter Herbert with the, thank you for looking into it, Polly. Thank you for your feedback. That line that she said, like, absolutely cornered. Tim Pool, Mr. Woolcap independent journalist, managed to corner you. And your response is, well, we appreciate your feedback. We'll look into that matter. Thank you for your input.
Yeah, he got a black pill suppository that day.
Like, that was the most like form response, like a form letter response that she literally became an NPC, like in terms of NPC responses. Like, it just rolled off of her tongue so easily that when I don't know what else to say, 404 error, cannot find response. Like, you know.
Oh yeah, it's. I mean, Tim. It's kind of been a painful journey with Tim Pool to watch him piece by piece by piece put it all together. That none of these people care, Tim.
Oh, wait a minute. I got beef with your boy Pat, come to think of it. Him asking about his last video. Yeah. I tried hard to wipe that image of that poor gymnast from my mind, and then I go to my sub box, and what do I see? Your boy Pat, and that's his goddamn thumbnail. Thanks, man. Jesus.
Did he use the picture from the video?
Yeah, side by side. That's how cold Pat is, man. He like the image of her before breaking and mid-break. And it's like, oh, dude.
No, Pat, I haven't had a chance to see your video yet, but yeah, we watched that video last night, and then we watched it again on Lords of the Night tonight. Like, oh.
I mean, I'm just busting balls, Pat, but like, holy shit, that fuck, that poor woman. Jesus.
Pat makes good videos. If you guys in chat aren't subscribed to him, go subscribe. He's got good content.
Yeah.
And he also has like the single most amazing tweet ever.
Go on.
39,000 likes.
Oh, that, yeah.
You know, and,
absolutely.
And I know because he was telling us the other night, he's still like, look, I just thought I was stating the obvious. Surprise.
What the fuck is a milli rock?
A milli rock?
Sounds like a midget with a lot of legs.
It's a dance of some sort. And so I got sidelines. I'm sorry. I don't know much of what we've been talking about recently, but I was watching this without the volume on. And it's this white girl teaching people how to do it. But the name or the comment on the tweet is, how you going to teach a dance you don't even know how to do? And so I don't know if she's doing it right or not, but watching this white girl dance is amusing to me. And Pat or Jack, you'd like her. She's got a thigh gap with her legs apart.
Ooh.
She's not Asian though, so I'm sorry.
Well, you can't win them all.
Yeah, girl got a thigh gap with her feet shoulder length apart, and she got thigh gap, man. Pat says, poor girl, the pain had to be excruciating. No shit. I read in one article they put her legs in air cast. I'm like, they should have put her in a coma, because that had to hurt like fuck. Tim Pool is frantic black pill the past couple of days. Look, Tim Pool has been he's been so close so many times.
He keeps putting "but" in the sentence.
No, the lip smacking. If you listen closely, oh God,
No,
buy a windsock.
He'll say, "Look, I'm all for yada yada yada," but, and then you're like, "God damn it, Tim! You need to learn everything that came before the but gets erased by what comes after it."
Ew.
I'm all for free speech, but I can understand how people's feelings get hurt. No.
Yep.
He also believes in hate speech.
Tim Pool is an enabler of this shit.
Yes.
Reno says Tim Pool still thinks social justice is a good thing. He does. And here's the thing. It's not because Tim's a bad guy. It's because Tim is a good guy.
Yeah.
So many, and I've mentioned this before, the way this stuff happens is not by the extremes. It's by just, people who they're not really that invested, or they're like, yeah, I want to be a good person. And it's like, okay, do you think people should say racist things? Like, oh no. So it'd be okay with you if we got rid of some of that and made it illegal to say that stuff? Yeah, I don't see a reason why we couldn't. I mean, nobody should be saying that. That's where it comes from. That's where we fall into this pit of shit we live in now.
It's incrementalism. It gets them in the feels and then moves it.
Yep.
And
This PC bullshit. That's where it comes from.
A lot of Tim's audience, though, if you look at his YouTube video, YouTube comments, a lot of people are like, dude, you're almost there. You're almost ready to make the leap across the abyss to realize that you're being manipulated by evil people. And it's in 6 months, he has shifted dramatically. So I haven't given up hope on him. It's when he butts. Well, it is a joke, but yeah, I could understand why. I mean, it's like, stop hedging.
It's a joke. Leave it at that.
Yeah.
That's all we need to say. It's a joke. If you don't like it, watch something else. There you go. Problem solved.
Thanks, SDA. Your cadence was like right out of her wheelhouse. It's a joke.
And for some reason, I'm suddenly hungry for meatloaf.
I actually want meatloaf. I haven't had it in a while, and I thought the other day I should make some, and then all of this happened, and that didn't happen. Tim paints himself as further left than he is. I think it's a screen, sort of a self-defense mechanism. I don't. I think he's that far left, and he's trying to explain why it's still okay to be that far left.
He's also having separation anxiety.
Yeah, he's trying to justify the beliefs that he holds because he's seeing all these contradictions.
Yep, and it's a form of separation anxiety because remember how long Sargon was like, "Look, I'm a liberal, like a left-leaning liberal," and then it's like, "Oh no, wait, maybe I'm not."
It's weird to me how he ever thought he was, because by UK terms, man, he is damn near a Nazi.
Well, he wasn't at first, but yeah, and it's you look at people who have the complete psychic break like Thunderfoot. I can't. I won't. I'll shove my fingers in my ears and I'll la 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 all the way into the 8th circle of hell.
Why has this white girl got such a white stomach?
Do you think? I think.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Well, that's okay. No,
I was going to derail her. I was going to derail her anyway, because when I look at Thunderfoot, I think he has very hairy ears.
He does. He needs to trim that shit.
You're talking about somebody who smells like urine. Look at Thunderfoot.
Yeah,
he does look like that, doesn't he?
He does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dirty hippie.
Kind of sad. It's kind of sad.
I always got more of a kind of garbage smell. I'm just saying.
Wet cardboard box for me.
But to your point there, Prospera, he did get out of that whole movement right on time, though, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, but it was the way he did it.
You're right. He was a douche about it, but I mean, Read them tea leaves. Time to run.
Yeah, it's well.
And
Yeah,
why isn't this girl
read
wearing
those Kraut and tea leaves? You mean?
Mm,
Because I think it was Kraut that actually blew the whole thing apart.
Well, that's just where everybody was like, okay, this is gone. These people are the horrible people we thought they were. And other people are like, I can't defend this anymore. Like, don't defend them. They're
Leave
the
it
ones
to
who
it.
did shitty stuff.
Leave
Yeah,
it to a German to fuck everything up.
Yeah, no, surprise.
Oh, was that
surprise.
So
allowed?
much for German engineering.
Yeah, it's
German engineering hasn't worked since Hitler. Come on.
yeah, but wasn't skeptic an externally applied term to begin with? And like idiots, they just were like, okay, we'll call ourselves that. You know, it's that fine. You're going to call me a name, I'll embrace it. And then when the whole thing blows up, it's like, haha, septic community blows up.
That's the German engineering has worked since Hitler. What do you mean?
What? Well, they tried engineering a whole race and it didn't work out.
da-da-da-da-da.
Is that what you're referring to? Oh, okay.
Now
The
they're
rockets
engineering
didn't
the
work that
downfall
well
of the
either.
continent.
They designed the Sig Sauer series of pistols after Hitler, and they work great. So
I thought Sig was Swedish.
German design, Swiss manufactured.
Okay, well then that's why it works.
That's mean but funny.
And true. And the Sig is a very, very pretty thing.
Oh yeah,
You can show me more of that porn anytime you want.
that's some serious gun porn, is it? not? Like,
Monkey's got his titties, and I'm like, oh, look at the pretty bang.
look at that. That's 45 caliber P220 Legion at that. Their fancy model.
It's a boomstick.
Yeah.
Reno says skeptics are the remaining cancer from Atheism Plus. I was never part of Atheism Plus, and I'm a skeptic.
No, not
I've got
all
to
of
the
this.
point. Yes, no. Here's the thing. I've got to the point that so many people are like, "Fuck the skeptic line. Fuck it. I'm a skeptic. What of it?"
No.
Fair
What I
enough.
meant is that
Motherfucker.
a lot of the skeptics were not Atheism Plus.
Well,
That caused
that's
a
where
huge
the break
fragment
came.
in the community.
The Atheism Plus is where the skeptic break came from.
Oh
Where
yeah.
people stopped calling themselves atheists and they grabbed onto that. So Ranting Monkey is racist against Germans. Yeah. Look what them fuckers have done over the years. They've taken over Europe finally. God damn it.
Does that make you a master racist?
I am a master racist.
That was funny in my head. I don't know about
That was funny. But I
Oh,
can't
man,
laugh
monkey.
because then it would seem like you're funnier than me.
We're talking about, I got some porn for you though.
Uh-oh.
Food porn.
Oh.
It's cool. It's cool.
The German
Okay.
showed the video.
They were talking about
ramen.
we were talking about meatloaf, and then people were talking about whether or not they like meatloaf in chat. Bacon
Oh,
wrapped
that's
meatloaf.
Ooh.
Huh?
That
That looks
good.
like a spicy bacon wrapped meatloaf, or nicely
that is-
seasoned.
That heartburn is going to be wicked.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it'll be worth it.
Can you imagine the kind of meatloaf sandwiches you can make out of that the next day? Ooh.
Bacon meat was
Provolone on crusty like French bread.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I love me some food porn, man. It's
that's why you need to tune into Minions of the Zoo on Tuesday nights when Sanguine really does his food porn. But he does it on Monday nights also on Quiz's show.
Galork asks, why does it look like bread? Because it's a loaf.
yeah. I have never been able to do the meatloaf right. I know you got to have like your proper drip pan, like the ones that you're going to
Yeah.
roast a turkey in to be able to, because they always turn out greasy and not good.
Mine
when I-
always fall apart.
yeah.
Always fall apart. I mean, they taste fine, but they just turn out a little too wet.
Mm. Yeah,
So-
you got to crack it. You got to get those ingredients right just so. And I've made it a couple times and it didn't work out either time.
Well, part of it too is if your meatloaf calls for an egg,
Mhm.
the size of eggs now is a lot larger than the size of eggs when grandma made the meatloaf recipe.
Mhm.
Because look at the difference in. You ought to look this up. Large eggs now would have been considered jumbo back in grandma's day.
It's because we're feeding the chickens the food of the gods, man. We're gonna have giant chickens roaming the earth. Have you seen that movie? Oh, it's gonna be horrifying.
Well, the dinosaurs are kind of like giant chickens anyway. So.
I mean, you would
Yeah.
know, right?
All right, we need to do one more story and then we're going to wrap this up.
Jackass.
An experienced skydiver was killed in an accident in New Jersey and found without his parachute attached to him.
Whoops.
The 54-year-old man, who hasn't been identified, jumped Sunday evening from the plane with skydive cross keys and deployed his parachute. I saw a shredded red parachute flailing down and I heard an explosion, witness Maria Mead told the news station. Then I heard a really loud bang. Wait. You heard an explosion and then a really loud bang. All right.
Yeah, the explosion and then the dude smacking onto the pavement.
The parachute wasn't with the skydiver's body when it was discovered shortly before 5:30 p.m.
Jesus.
Authorities said there was an accident after the skydiver jumped, but didn't release further details. This motherfucker accidentally released his chute.
He actually
Yeah,
freed
probably.
himself from the chute.
He was drunk.
Ooh, really?
I'm guessing he was
Oh,
drunk.
okay.
See, when you first said this, I thought that he jumped out of the plane without the chute, like an Alzheimer's moment or something. But this is actually worse.
Geronimo.
Yeah, he freed himself from his mane.
Well, what probably happened is, he pulled the chute and it wasn't securely attached to his body, and he just fell out of it.
Mm-hmm. If you ever
Oops.
want to hear a parachuting story that'll make your hair stand on end, ask Skeptalk about one of his jumps. He has an amazing story about a chute fail.
I almost went skydiving one time, but they told me I was too young to do it, so I didn't, and then I never did. Because then I had children shortly thereafter. And once you have children, diving out of a plane is a dumb idea.
Depends how much you owe in child support.
Yeah, there you go. Just saying, R. Kelly might be a way to go.
Jesus.
What did I say? I think he'd enjoy skydiving. That's all.
I think he'd be peeing on everyone from 50,000 feet.
Oh, dear God. Drip, drip, drip. Guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Thank you for the donations. I can't tell you how humbled I am at your generosity. Thank you guys for sharing and liking and all of that, because without you, I'm nothing, because you complete me.
Oh, God.
Prospero, anything you'd like to share tonight?
Just please never say you complete me again.
But they complete me.
Yes, you can find me on Minions of the Zoo. I host Thursday nights. Friday nights is Pilates game night. And we have lovely hosts throughout the week. We switch them off. It's at 11:30 Eastern on the Minions of the Zoo channel.
Okay. Where was that? Mr. Potato said can't be that experience. The story said he had over 1,000 jumps to his credit.
Huh.
Oops. Yeah, he was trying to get out of the debt.
Or somebody murdered him.
Polly, anything you'd like to share tonight?
Yeah, I will shill yet again. There it is. The link to my channel where we do comic book curation every Wednesday at roughly 10 p.m. Eastern.
Closer to 11.
It's just said roughly. And no, it's a good time. Jack, Inquisitor, and myself rapitate and break down issues related to comic books and superheroes and movies and pop culture and all that shit. It's great fun. We have a good time, I think. I enjoy it anyway. So anyway, by all means, stop by, see what you think. And if you like it, subscribe. And we just broke 500 subs over there as of last night. Thank you for everybody who's subbed up until now. Greatly appreciated.
Very nice. Dax, anything you'd like to share?
No.
Thank you so much. And Jack, anything from you tonight?
No, I think the guy that jumped out of the plane was actually DB Cooper. But here on my channel,
Could be. Yeah, there's his links, guys. Make sure you check them out. Let's see. Tonight we are on Scribe's channel, 9 p.m. Eastern time for Lords of the Night. And Sofane will be joining us this evening,
Nice.
if everything goes well. So should be a fun night. No game stream tonight, so that's your only chance to catch the guys. Make sure you tune in. Chat, thanks for joining us. Prospero, Polly, Dax, and Jack, thank you guys so much for joining me. Everyone, we will see you next time. Have a great day.
Letters.
Night.
Good night, Mark.
Bye.